Brought to you by Penguin.
The Kingdom, translated from the Norwegian by Robert Ferguson, by Nesbo, read by Sean Barrett. Prologue. It was the day Dog died. I was 16, Carl 15. A few days earlier, Dad had shown us the hunting knife I killed him with. It had a broad blade that glinted in the sun and was grooved on the sides. Dad had explained that the grooves were there to channel the blood away when you dismembered your prey. Even that was enough to turn Carl pale, and Dad asked if he was thinking of getting carsick again. I think that was why Carl swore he was going to shoot something, anything at all, and dismember it, cut it up into tiny little fucking pieces, if that was what had to be done. "Then I'll roast it and we'll eat it," he said, as we stood outside the barn, me with my head bent over the engine of Dad's Cadillac DeVille. "Him, Mum, you and me." "Okay." "Okay," I said, as I turned the distributor cap to locate the ignition point. "Dog can have some too," he said. "There'll be enough for everyone." "Sure there will," I said. Dad always said he'd name Dog Dog, because at the time he couldn't think of anything else. But I think he loved that name. It was like himself, never said more than was strictly necessary, and so American he had to be Norwegian. And he loved that animal. I've a feeling he valued that dog's company more than that of any human being. Our mountain farm maybe doesn't have much, but it's got views, and it's got outlying land, enough for Dad to refer to it as his kingdom. And day after day, from my position permanently bent over that Cadillac, I could see Carl head off out with Dad's dog, Dad's rifle, and Dad's knife. Could see them turn into dots against the bare mountainside. But I never heard any shooting. And when he returned to the farm, Carl always said he hadn't seen any game birds, and I kept my mouth shut, even if I had seen one small covey of grouse after another taking off from the mountainside, showing me roughly whereabouts Carl and Dog were. And then, one day, finally, I heard a shot. I jumped so hard my head struck the underside of the bonnet, wiped the oil from my fingers and looked towards the heather-clad mountainside as the sound of that shot rolled outwards like thunder over the village down below by Lake Budal. 10 minutes later, Carl came running, slowing down when he was so close he knew he could be seen by Mum and Dad in the farmhouse. Dog wasn't with him. He didn't have his rifle either. I had already half guessed what had happened and went out to meet him. When he saw me, he turned and began slowly walking back the way he had come. When I caught up with him, I saw that his cheeks were wet with tears. "I tried," he sobbed. "They flew up straight in front of us. There were so many of them, and I took aim, but I just couldn't do it. And then I wanted you all to hear that at least I tried, so I lowered the rifle and pulled the trigger. Once the birds were gone, I looked down, and there was Dog, lying there." "Dead?" I asked. "No," said Carl, and now he began really crying. "But he will die. He's bleeding from his mouth, and both his eyes are shattered. He's just lying there on the ground, whimpering and shaking." "Run," I said. We ran, and after a few minutes we saw something moving in the heather. It was a tail. Dog's tail. He smelled us coming. We stood over him. His eyes looked like 2 egg yolks pulled to shreds. "He's done for," I said, not because I'm an expert vet like every cowboy in every Western movie seems to be, but because even if by some miracle Dog should survive, a life as a blind hunting dog didn't seem as if it would be worth living. "You've got to shoot him." "Me?" exclaimed Carl, as though he couldn't believe that I was actually suggesting that he, Carl, take something's life. I looked at him, at my kid brother. "Give me the knife," I said. He handed me Dad's hunting knife. I placed one hand on Dog's head, and he licked my wrist. I grabbed him by the skin on the back of his neck, and with my other hand slit his throat. But I was cautious. Nothing happened. Dog just jerked. Not until the 3rd attempt did I manage to cut through properly, and then it was like...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?